Alright, so Tekken 8 is just around the corner, or it's out depending on when you watch this video, and like with any other fighting game, a new release prompts the age-old question: who should I main? There are going to be 32 characters on release in Tekken 8. While not the biggest roster compared to previous entries, it's still a sizable amount, and understandably intimidating to players new to the franchise. Veterans of the series have already expressed their apprehension to the roster count, so you're not alone. Every character, whether you're learning them or learning how to fight them, is an investment. Multiply that investment by 32 with an additional 4 characters coming throughout the year, you see how Tekken earned its reputation for having a high learning curve. So I understand if you really want to start off on the right foot getting into the franchise, and what better way to accelerate the process than finding the right character? Fair enough. You're new to the series. You don't have access to a copy of Tekken 7. Who should you main? I'm sure you've heard this plenty of times before across other games and videos discussing this very topic, so forgive the cliche, but trust me when I say this. You should pick the character you think looks the coolest. Before you click off the video, let me make my case with a brief tangent. When Street Fighter 6 first came out, it was the AAA fighting game release the FGC had often dreamed about. I really enjoy SF6, but there's not a single character in there I want to main. With no character to main, I have no motivation to practice and go beyond Master Rank. Why bother refining my play for a character that I have every intention of dropping in the future? Fighting games are a marathon, not a sprint, and that's especially true for Tekken, doubly so if you're new to the franchise. It's a significant time investment, and it's not always going to feel great.
Fucking hell!
But you can make the time you spend in Tekken far more palatable and enjoyable if you spend it with a character that engages you. Don't worry about tier lists. Don't worry about optimization. Develop your love for the game first with a character you think is cool. Worry about that other stuff later. Now, for a more practical answer, if you're new to Tekken, you should pick a character that was recently added to the series. So you're looking at Victor, Reina, Azucena, Leroy, and Shaheen. You want to consider these characters for 2 reasons. Number 1, it took almost 9 years for Tekken 8 to come out. You better believe that everyone is chomping at the bits to play someone new. I'm certain many players will be spending a good chunk of their time on these 3 in particular, giving you plenty of material to research and use in your own gameplay. Number 2, the more recent the inclusion, the shorter the move list. Newcomers almost always have less moves you need to go through and practice with compared to the rest of the cast. As a result, they're going to have a simple, straightforward, and effective game plan that's easy to learn, which means less time in the lab and more time playing matches. Additionally, since Shaheen and Leroy were added in Tekken 7, years worth of footage already exists for you to comb through, and I can't imagine that their move list will change that much going from 7 to 8. So if you really want to accelerate your mastery over Tekken, you should check those 2 out. It's worth mentioning that there is one legacy character you may want to consider, and that's Jack. Despite being a legacy character, and regardless of how his move list will look in Tekken 8, Jack's game plan has always revolved around 3 to 5 key moves. A concise list of effective tools that help you control the flow of the match. Also, there is no shortage of world-class Jack players that you can watch and learn from. A downside to Jack you should be aware of though is that his sidestep is not as effective compared to the rest of the cast due to his large frame. However, sidesteps and sidewalking were buffed in Tekken 8, so who knows, this may not even be a factor once the game drops. Finally, if you happen to be watching this before Tekken 8 is out, you could always just download the demo and check out Kazuya, Paul, Jin, and Nina. You can set up a faux practice mode to experiment in by playing against the easiest CPU or the Ghost Battle AI. Alternatively, if you happen to have an extra controller lying around, you can do the same in Versus mode. You can even take Devil Jin out for a spin by playing the story mode if you're really interested in learning that character. Alright, so to summarize, if you're new to Tekken and want suggestions on who to main, I recommend you pick someone you think is cool, someone that makes you look forward to playing Tekken. For me, it was Armor King. Unfortunately, he isn't in Tekken 8. At least not yet. So now it's Brian. Why? Because it is incredibly satisfying hitting people with Hatchet Kick. From a practical standpoint, pick any of the newcomers. Their recent inclusion means they'll have a shorter move list and a simpler game plan for you to learn and practice. I hope this video helps kickstart your journey into Tekken 8, and I sincerely hope that whoever you choose to main makes this a fun and engaging experience for you. That's gonna be it from me. I'll see you all out there in the fighting grounds. Hey, thanks again for tuning in, really appreciate it. Do me a favor and like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. It really helps out the channel. Alternatively, you can also pledge on my Patreon or buy me a coffee. While you're at it, go ahead and follow me on my other socials. Links in the description down below. For more content, feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel. If video essays and reviews are more your thing, then head on over to my alt at youtube.com/Xanthem. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.